Hey guys, welcome back to another ARIA-SK coding tutorial, and in this tutorial I'm going to be showing you guys how to solve Leetcode problem number 3, which is asking you to find the longest substring within a given string which doesn't have any repeated characters. So basically this question is giving you a substring such as, I'll just take the one over here, so ABC, ABC, BB. Right, and it wants you to find the length of the longest substring such that there's no repeated characters. And a substring is just going to be any sort of string we can make by just taking consecutive characters from within the original string. So for this question, it's pretty clear that we need to use something like a sliding window where we just try and make the window as large as possible until we get a repeat element, at which point we want to make the window smaller and then go again as long as we can till we hit another repeat element, and then just do this until we tried all of them and we figured out the longest one. So the idea for this is actually pretty simple. We're using a sliding window technique using a left and right pointer, and we'll just keep incrementing the right pointer until we hit a repeat element. So as we make this sort of window, we're going to keep track of which elements are actually inside of it, as well as their indices. And then when we hit a repeat element, so here you can see we're hitting this A over here, which is a repeat of this one. When we hit a repeat element, we're just going to, we know that this was the original A and this is a new one, so we can only have one A at one time. So we're going to now move past that A, increment, and just repeat until we hit another repeat element. Now this B gets repeated from here, so we move the left one to move the sliding window, repeat until we get to this repeat. C is repeated, and then yeah, we just kind of continue this, and you can see that's also repeated. So yeah, that is essentially the idea. You can see, sorry, for this last one, this B is repeated, but the final B in the substring was actually there, so the next one would be here. So you can see we've managed to test these substrings, and essentially every time a character is repeated, we just move the left pointer such that that character is no longer repeated. And you can see every time we make a new sort of substring, we can just test if it's longer than the longest one we've had so far. If it is, we'll just update our max. So that is the basic idea. Now let's just implement this in code. So we're given our string. What we're going to do is we're going to create a let's say a left pointer, and we can also have a right pointer. Initially we'll set them both equal to 0, and a substring is just going to be, so if the left was 0 and the right was, let's just say 3, then our substring would be this. That's what these mean. And we also need to keep track of the window we're currently in. So const window, this is going to be a dictionary. We're going to have the letter, which is a string, and then we're going to store the index at which this letter is in the string using a number. So this is keeping track of the window we're currently in, and of course we're also going to need to keep track of the maximum substring length, which we're going to return at the end. So initialize that as 0. Now we can use a for loop or a while loop, doesn't really matter. I'll just use while since I've already initialized my left and right pointer. So let's just do while right is less than s.length, loop through the entire list. Okay, so when we add one to right, what we're going to do is we're going to check. So the current letter is going to be s right. We need to check whether this letter is a repeat or not. So we're just going to do if window letter is not equal to undefined. This shows that letter is inside the window, but we also need to check whether it's actually in the current window we're in, because we're not actually going to delete items from the window. That makes it a bit complicated. But all we can do is we need to check if it's in the window first of all, and we also need to check if window letter, remember this is the index, which is that, if this was the window and we were looking at, let's just say this A, well that's not actually in the window, so we need to check if whether the index of the letters is greater than or equal to left, since that's going to tell us if this is in the window or not. If it is a repeat, then we need to adjust the window, right? So let's say we get to here, we get to this A, and we realize it's a repeat from this original A. So what we do is we move the left pointer to just one past this A. So we can just set left is going to be window letter plus 1, moving it just like that. Okay, so that's the first step. And once we've checked whether it was repeat and adjusted the window, now all that's left to do is just update the window. So we can do window letter is equal to right, just updating the window, and obviously we're going to need to increment right by 1, and then we can update, or possibly update, since it's not going to update every time, possibly update maximum substring length. So here what we can do is we can just do something like maximum substring length is equal to math.max, so just updating if it's a max of this or the current length of a window, which we can find by doing right minus left plus 1. Here you can see an example. If we look at let's have a look at this window here, right? So left is going to be 0, right is going to be 2, the length is going to be, well, this clearly has 3 elements, and the reason we add 1 is because we want to include either this or this, just to make it the actual length, which gives us a length of 3, which you can see is true. So here's our code to update the maximum substring length, and oh, I spelled substring wrong. But yeah, there we go, nice and simple, and this is going to repeat until right reaches the end of the string, which is like that. So that's all it was, just a sliding window technique. Let's return a maximum substring length and see how we get along. Okay. Okay, so we do all right. We've definitely not got the best stats right now, and yeah, I'd say this is mainly coming from the fact that we're using a while loop. I suppose it would be faster if we use a for loop, but I don't see how that could really affect it too much. But yeah, other than that, there's not much we can do. Maybe using the math.max function actually made it a bit worse. So let's see if we can make it a bit faster using just a regular if statement. This is the window length, and we can just do if window length is greater than maximum substring length. Maybe this was going to help. But yeah, this is pretty optimal code. Not too sure why we've got a relatively low score, but okay, so I made it slightly better, not too good. Let's have a look at this. Right. Okay, this is a bit more, this is a different approach. Yeah. Okay, so similar sort of stuff. This is a good approach. This and how you solve it using the sliding window technique. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys in a future tutorial. Bye.